If you search for the term how to get motivated, how to stay motivated on YouTube, you're going to find 18 million different ideas, different perspectives, different tips, different tricks on how to get motivated and stay motivated when you're chasing some particular goal. Maybe it's related to relationships or fitness or personal development or anything else. In today's video, I want to share a perspective that I haven't heard anyone else talk about that I think can be useful in framing this whole question and will actually help you get motivated and stay motivated in the pursuit of any goal you may have. But in particular for this channel, if this goal is related to something like overcoming retroactive jealousy or overcoming obsessive jealousy. My name is Zachary Stockill, and since 2013, I've been working one-on-one with hundreds of men and women from all over the world, helping them overcome retroactive jealousy, helping them overcome obsessive jealousy, and often save their relationships. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one or you'd like more information about my work, please visit my website at retroactivejealousy.com. How to get motivated. I don't think the answer is looking around on YouTube for guys like David Goggins and Joe Rogan and all these guys. I love those guys, by the way. But a lot of these people, or a lot of people looking for motivation, just think that watching motivational videos on YouTube is going to do the trick. So you just do that every morning and that'll get you out of bed. That can work in the short term. However, in the long term, I think it's much more helpful, much more advantageous to bring the focus back closer to home, to bring the focus back dead square on yourself. Rather than looking at some ripped guy on a screen or anyone on YouTube, bring the focus back to yourself. And think about something called compound debt, okay? So you've probably heard of compound interest. You probably have personal experience doing something with compound interest. You know what it is, I'm sure. You put some money in an account, that money earns interest, and then you earn interest on top of that interest. Interest accumulating to principal, goes on and on and on, compound interest. Have you ever thought about compound debt? Compound debt in terms of the decisions you're making every day that are piling up on top of each other. So you're going to pay a higher and higher and higher price for your decisions in the future. Some companies structure their credit card debt like this, where the debt accumulates on top of debt, which leads to borrowing more money, more time, more debt, and it's this vicious cycle to hell if you don't quickly realize what's going on and take active steps to start undoing some of that damage. So I'm going to use two examples of compound debt in this video that could be relevant to you in your current circumstances. So let's say you're struggling with retroactive jealousy, and let's say you're asking your partner endless questions about their past. You know, you're asking them just all the crazy obsessive questions that I asked once upon a time, maybe you've asked too, asking for unnecessary details, like there's a part of you that realizes this is unhelpful and irrational, but you feel like you can't stop, so you keep doing it. And let's say you have an incredible partner. Let's say that she, in this case, is supportive and loving, and she tries to give you the answers she feels you need. And sometimes she gets a little frustrated and a little turned off and her attraction is going down, but we'll talk about that later. But let's say on the surface, she's totally willing to give you the answers you need. Okay. You're engaged in a process of compounding the debt of this problem. You're compounding this problem over and over and over again because you're reinforcing deep in your hindbrain that this is the pathway to some kind of limited short-term freedom, right? You're getting some kind of a payoff each time you do this. You're actually reinforcing this negative pattern in your brain. And again, you're going to get short-term relief in all likelihood by doing this. Sometimes you'll get an answer that makes you feel good. Sometimes she'll tell you how amazing you are and how different you are and how much she loves you for the 8 millionth time. Whatever, you get what I'm saying. You're going to get some kind of limited payoff that's going to make you feel better. Maybe for an hour, maybe for a day, maybe for a week, until the cycle repeats itself, until the curiosity comes back and all the rest. And the next time you get the obsessive curiosity, or you feel like snooping through her phone, or you're doing all the things that retroactive jealousy sufferers often do, again, it's compound debt. That pattern's become even harder to break than it was before if you caught it early on, because it's so deeply reinforced in your brain by doing this again and again and again and again. Every single time you do this, it's reinforcing it deeper. It's going to be all that much more difficult to break the pattern and start a new one. Now let's talk about compound debt in terms of your relationship, okay? So a lot of people, particularly guys in my experience, on some level, they feel like they can just get away with this forever, right? My girlfriend loves me, or my wife loves me, and she puts up with me, and she has patience, and she's amazing, and we've been together for ages, and what's going to happen? It's like, okay, you are chipping away slowly at her belief in you, at her perception of you and your confidence as a man, I can just about promise that on some level, her attraction towards you is going down. You're chipping away at it more and more and more. The debt is growing with every time you ask unnecessary questions or you act all needy and insecure and you just need mommy's comfort. That kind of thing. I'm being harsh with you in this video, but it's something I feel strongly about. And I'm tired of getting emails from guys who've blown up their entire marriages and relationships when they've waited too long. Too long to get help, too long to take action, too long to start creating new patterns. And there will be a debt you will have to pay later on in the relationship. Maybe she's accommodating, maybe she's sweet and loving and again, reassuring and all the rest. But there's going to be some anger and bitterness and resentment, likely deep in her bones as a result of having to reassure you, having to comfort you 18,000 times or whatever it is. She might not admit it on the surface, she might not be totally frank about that, but deep down, it's kind of gnawing away at her. And you will have to repay that debt at some point. There will be times later on in the relationship, in all likelihood, when she'll bring up, do you remember that year that you just did nothing but abuse me for my past? Do you remember all those nights you made me cry and you made me feel terrible about myself and all the rest? That stuff will bubble up to the surface at some point. At some point, in all likelihood, you will have to pay that debt. So compound debt is a really useful thing to think about in all areas of your life, right? Stop digging the hole deeper because you will have to fill it up at some point. You will have to escape from that hole at some point. And the deeper you dig yourself into that hole, eventually the harder it's going to be to ever get out of it. As I often say on this channel, and it gives me no pleasure to say it, but it's true, retroactive jealousy has been responsible for more than a few broken homes, terrible divorces and painful breakups and all the rest. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for your future. And I don't want you to be forced in this position of having to pay this enormous debt someday, having to pay this enormous price for things that you should have stopped doing a long time ago. Now, if you're struggling with retroactive jealousy and you're really struggling to break some of these long-standing habits, long-standing patterns, the good news is, if you're watching a video like this, it's probably not too late. I worry about the guys who just struggle with this problem for decades, doing nothing, not doing any interrogation or research on this topic. Those are the guys I really worry about. But if you're watching this video right now, obviously that demonstrates, at least to me, that you're at least somewhat interested in getting help in breaking some of these patterns. So if you click the link, the top of the description of this video, you can get a free 4-part report, a free 4-part mini course that's going to help you take some of the first steps toward breaking some of these patterns, towards getting help, towards feeling better very quickly. Click the link in the description to go to my website and I'll send you a free 4-part video mini course that's going to help you get started overcoming retroactive jealousy and breaking some of these habits, breaking some of these patterns as quickly as possible. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following me today. If you got anything out of this video, please take a minute to let me know by clicking the like button below. You can also make sure you subscribe to my channel to be notified of new videos moving forward. And if anything I said today landed or resonated with you or anything else, please take a minute to share that with me by leaving a comment beneath this video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you again very soon.